You went in for one thing. One, bread, milk, a phone charger. And you came out with a bag, a whole bag. There's a candle in there. You don't know why there's a candle in there. Nobody in your household has ever asked for a candle. And on the drive home, you did the thing everybody does. You called yourself impulsive, said you've got no self-control, told yourself you need to be more disciplined next time. Overruled. Because here's what I'm about to show you, and once you see it, you will never walk into a shop the same way again. Almost everything that happened to you in there was designed, on purpose, by professionals, before you were born. The lighting, the route you walked, the price on the tag, the music tempo, the absence of a single clock on any wall. You weren't weak-willed. You were on someone else's pitch, playing by their rules, and nobody told you the rules existed. 4 fouls today. And stay for number 4, because that's the one that followed you home. It's in your pocket right now. Foul number 1. The maze is the point. There's a name for what happened to you the second you walk through those doors, the Gruen transfer. And the story behind that name is genuinely one of my favorite things in all of retail. It's named after Victor Gruen, the Austrian-born architect who essentially invented the modern shopping mall. And here's the part nobody tells you. Gruen hated what it became. He designed these spaces as community hubs. Retailers looked at his work, realized the disorientation could be monetized, and ran with it. Gruen himself publicly disavowed the manipulative techniques that carry his name. The man is the namesake of the trick, and he spent his later years objecting to it. So what is the Gruen transfer? It's the moment you walk into a store or a mall, and the intentionally confusing layout makes you lose track of what you came in for. Your original intention just evaporates. And once your intention is gone, you're not shopping anymore. You're browsing. Browsing is the store's home turf. And now every layout choice makes sense. Why is milk always at the very back? Why are essentials scattered to opposite corners? Why does that one furniture retailer make you walk a fixed winding path through the entire showroom to reach the exit? It's not bad design. It's the best performing design there is. Non-linear paths, high-demand items placed deep, the most expensive versions sitting exactly at eye level so you never have to crouch to compare prices. You thought you were wandering. You were being routed. Foul number 2. The prices are talking to a part of your brain you don't control. Start with the simplest one, and I promise you already know it, and it works anyway. The £9.99, $19.99, charm pricing. Your brain reads left to right and anchors hard on that first digit, so 9.99 files under 9 something rather than basically 10. It's called the left digit effect. And here's the humbling part. Knowing about it does not switch it off. People who can explain the mechanism still fall for the mechanism. Then there's anchoring. Put an expensive item next to a mid-priced one, and the mid-priced one doesn't look mid-priced anymore. It looks like relief. The expensive one might not even be there to sell. It's there to make its neighbor look reasonable. And the sharpest one, the decoy effect. 3 options instead of 2. Small, medium, large, where the medium is priced so awkwardly close to the large that the large suddenly feels like an obvious win. You didn't want the large. You wanted to feel clever, and they sold you the feeling of being clever at a markup. Notice what all 3 of these have in common. Not one of them is about the product. They're all about the numbers standing next to the product. Foul number 3. The room is doing things to you. Music tempo measurably changes how fast people move through a store and how much they spend. Slow it down, and shoppers slow down with it. Slower walking means more time in the aisles. More time means more exposure. It's not background music. It's a pace setter, and you're the one being paced. Then look at what's missing. No clocks, often no windows, nothing anywhere that tells you what time it is, or that a world exists outside. Casinos get accused of this constantly, but plenty of large retail spaces run the exact same play. Remove every time cue, and the shopper's internal clock drifts. Add scent, add lighting warm enough to feel like a living room. Add wide, comfortable corridors and somewhere to sit. Every one of those choices makes the space feel calm and safe, and calm, safe people linger. They are not trying to make you happy, they're trying to make you stay. Happiness is just the most efficient way to do that. Foul number 4, the one I promised. They rebuilt the whole store inside your phone, and that one never closes. Everything we've covered, the maze, the anchoring, the decoy, the atmosphere, all of it transferred online, adapted for scrolling instead of walking, infinite feed instead of winding aisles. Only one left in stock instead of a sale sign. One-click checkout instead of a queue, which strips out the last bit of friction that used to give you a moment to think. But here's what makes the digital version genuinely different and worse. The physical store had to design one layout for everybody who walked in. Your phone builds a different one for you. It knows what you looked at last week. It knows what you almost bought and abandoned. It knows the hour of the day when your resistance is lowest because it has watched you at every hour. The mall closed at 9, this thing is open at 2 a.m. in your bed when you're tired and your judgment is at its worst, and it has a personal file on you. That's why just have more willpower is such a losing strategy. You're not up against a shop, you're up against a system that has run millions of experiments on people exactly like you and kept only the tactics that won. So, the ruling, 4 calls, 1 for each foul. Call 1, beat the maze with a list, and treat the list like a rulebook, not a suggestion, written before you leave. Shopping with genuine intent to follow it is the single most effective protection against the Gruen transfer, because the transfer works by erasing your intention. So bring your intention in a form that can't be erased. It's written down, it can't evaporate. Call 2, read the unit price, not the display price. That one habit neutralizes most decoy and anchor pricing in a second, because it forces every option onto the same scale, which is exactly the comparison the layout was designed to prevent. Price per 100 grams, price per liter. Boring. Devastating. Call 3, restore the missing time cue yourself. They removed the clocks, so bring one. Check the time when you walk in. Set a timer if you're serious, and use the oldest test there is on anything not on the list. Would I still want this tomorrow? If yes, it'll still be there tomorrow. If no, congratulations, you just watched the trick work in real time and didn't pay for the ticket. Call 4. Attack the environment, not your willpower. This is the big one. Willpower is a limited, tired, part-time resource, and it's up against full-time professionals. So don't fight the fight. Leave the field. Unsubscribe from the promotional emails. Turn off shopping notifications. Log out of the one-click checkout so buying takes 40 extra seconds. Every bit of friction you add back is friction they spent years removing. You don't have to be stronger than the system. You just have to be somewhere it isn't. Full time. The verdict. You are not impulsive. You walked into a building engineered by people whose entire job is separating intention from action, routed through a maze, anchored by a decoy, paced by a soundtrack, in a room with no clocks. And then you blamed yourself for losing a game you didn't know was running. The candle was never your fault, though you do still have to live with the candle. Write, comments. Tell me the most ridiculous thing you have ever walked out of a shop with that was not on the list. I'll start us off. I once went in for batteries. There is no version of this story where I come home with a plant. And yet,